Hello everyone, today let's discuss regarding the anatomy of lungs. Now, the lungs are a pair of respiratory organs which are situated in the thoracic cavity on either sides of the mediastinum. So in between there is situation of the heart. Now, the lungs are enclosed in pleural sac or called as the pleura. Both these lungs vary in sizes. The weight of the right lung is roughly about 700 grams, whereas the weight of the left lung is roughly about 600 to 650 grams. You can see some small darkish black spots over here on these lungs. These are due to the inhaled carbon particles. You can also observe the texture of the lung. It is spongy and elastic in nature. Now let's discuss regarding the site determination of the lungs. For better understanding, first let's see some parts of the lungs. As you all know, lungs are organs that are roughly conical in shape. So, it has an apex, a base, a sharp anterior border, a blunt and ill-defined posterior border. It has an inferior border. It has two surfaces. One is the costal surface, which lies in close contact with the ribs, and it also has a mediastinal surface, which possesses the hilum of the lung. After discussing the parts of the lung, now let's discuss regarding the site determination of the lung. To understand the site determination of the lungs, we have to remember following points. The apex should always be pointing upwards. The costal surface of the lung should always be facing outwards. The hilum of the lung should always be pointing inwards or medially. Whereas the anterior border should always be the sharpest border and the shortest. And the posterior border should be the blunt or the ill-defined border. Theoretically speaking, the right lung has three lobes: the upper lobe, the lower lobe and the middle lobe. Whereas the left lung has only two lobes, the upper lobe and the lower lobe. But this is not true in all cases. Occasionally, what happens is the right lung sometimes has two lobes and the left lung sometimes has three lobes. Such cases are anatomical variations that are occurring due to altered pulmonary development during the intrauterine life. Thus, due to this reason, you should never try to determine the site of the lung on basis of the number of lobes and fissures. Determining the site of the lung, now let's discuss regarding the various parts of the lung, starting with the apex first. As I have already told you that the lung is conical in shape, so this is the apex. The apex in the lung is blunt and it points upwards towards the neck, following which we can quickly move to the base of the lung. Now you all can notice over here that the concavity present on the base of the right lung is more depressed as compared to the concavity of the base of the left lung. This is due to the presence of liver under the right dome of the diaphragm. After discussing the base, now let's quickly discuss regarding the borders of the lung. Now, firstly, let's discuss regarding the anterior border on both the lungs. Here, I am holding the right lung first. You can see the anterior border. This is thin and sharp, and it is present between the mediastinal surface and the costal surface. Now, when we will see the same anterior border on the left lung, we see a certain variation. This anterior border, no doubt it is sharp and thin over here, but when we go down, we can see a deep notch over here that is called as the cardiac notch. And at the lowest portion of the cardiac notch, we can see a tongue-like projection. This is called as the lingula. After looking at the anterior border, now let's discuss regarding the posterior border. The posterior border is similar on both the lungs. So, This is the right lung. Here you can see that this is the posterior border. Okay, the posterior border is quite thick, it is rounded and it is ill-defined. Okay, and this posterior border is actually placed in the paravertebral gutter. Okay, here also you can see on the left lung, this is the posterior border, this is thick, this is rounded and it is ill-defined. Now what is the paravertebral gutter? It is the space that is present on either sides of the vertebral column. Moving forward, let's move towards the inferior border of the lung. Here you all can see the inferior border is semilunar in shape and it is the partition between the base and the costal surface of the lung. After the discussion regarding the borders of the lung, now let's quickly discuss regarding the surfaces of the lung. The lungs altogether have two surfaces, a costal surface which points outwards, a medial surface which points inwards towards the mediastinum. The costal surface, as you all can see over here, is quite large, smooth and it is convex and to the ribs, whereas the medial surface is roughened, it has the hilum and it points towards the mediastinum. As you all can see over here, the medial surface is actually divided into two portions. A smaller vertebral part which lies in close contact with the paravertebral gutter and a larger mediastinal part wherein the hilum is located. The hilum of the lung is an area wherein various structures leave out of the lung and various structures move inside the lung. Now, as we have seen the hilum, let's discuss regarding the various structures that are present inside the hilum of the lung. Now, to understand the hilum, we have to first see how the various structures of the hilum look. You can see over here that there is hard and cartilaginous structure over here and here. These are the two branches of the bronchus. Okay, now you can also see that there is a thin collapsible tube over here which is called as the pulmonary vein, and then there is a thick and elastic vessel over here, this is called as the pulmonary artery. Now let's see the hilum from anterior to posterior side. You can notice over here that this is the anterior border and this is the posterior border. So when we look from the anterior to the posterior side, the first vessel which we encounter over here, this is called as the superior pulmonary vein. Okay, and then after that we can locate the pulmonary artery, and then we can also see the two branches of the bronchus. These two branches can be identified on basis of the pulmonary artery. The branch which lies above the pulmonary artery, which is this is called as the epartial bronchus, and the bronchus which lies below the pulmonary artery, this is called as the hip-arterial bronchus. After observing the lung from anterior-posterior view, now let's look at the lung from above downwards. Here we can see that the first structure that's lying over here is the epartial bronchus. Okay, after that we can locate the pulmonary artery. Below that we can also locate the hip-arterial bronchus. After that, when you go extreme downwards, we can locate the inferior pulmonary vein. We can locate similar structures on the left lung. So, over here in the hilum, we can locate the pulmonary artery, the superior pulmonary vein, the bronchus and the inferior pulmonary vein. After observing the hilum of the lung, now let's discuss regarding the various lobes and fissures regarding the lung. Now first, let's discuss regarding the lobes and fissures of the right lung. So, the right lung has three lobes, the superior lobe, the inferior lobe and the middle lobe. So, the superior lobe and the inferior lobe gets divided by this singular fissure. This is called as the oblique fissure. It starts from the posterior border, which you can locate over here, almost 6.5 centimeters below the apex, and it ends at the level of the inferior border, thus dividing the entire right lung into a superior and an inferior border. Following that, there is a horizontal fissure. This horizontal fissure starts from the oblique fissure and ends at the anterior border. This fissure helps in forming the middle lobe. After discussing the lobes and fissures of the right lung, let's discuss the lobes and fissures on the left lung. Here you can see that the left lung has only one fissure and two lobes. There is a superior lobe and an inferior lobe, which gets divided by the help of a oblique fissure. This oblique fissure starts at the level of the posterior border and ends at the level of the inferior border. After discussing the lobes and fissures on both the lungs, now let's discuss regarding the various impressions that are present over the surface of the lung. First, let's discuss regarding the impressions that are present over the right lung. Over here, you can see a scooped up surface. This is the impression for the right atrium. Over here, you can see the impression for the superior vena cava. Here, there is the presence of the impression of the inferior vena cava. Over here, you can locate the impression for the arc of azygous vein. The azygous veins come from here and it drains into the superior vena cava. Similarly, let's discuss the various impressions that are present over the left lung. Okay, over here, we can see that this is the left lung. You can see a deep scooped up surface over here. This accommodates the left ventricle. Now, you can also see the impression for the ascending aorta. You can see the impression for the arc of aorta and then the impression for the descending aorta over here. Lastly, let's discuss regarding the bronchial tree. The bronchial tree starts with the trachea, and the trachea starts at the level of cervical vertebra number 6. Then it travels down the entire length of the neck, and when it reaches the lower border of thoracic vertebra number 4, it bifurcates into two principal bronchus on either sides, on the right and on the left side. Now what happens is like the principal bronchus on either side make an angle of inclination with the trachea. You can see over here the right sided principal bronchus is making an angle of inclination of roughly about 25 degrees with the trachea, and the angle of inclination of the left principal bronchus is roughly about 45 degrees. Due to this smaller angle, the right lung is more likely to get infected during a pathogen attack, because it becomes very easy for the pathogen to travel inside the right lung than into the left lung. Moving forward, let's discuss regarding the principal bronchus or the primary bronchus. The principal or the primary bronchus gets divided even further, and then it enters into the various lobes of the lungs. Okay, these branches which enter in various lobes, these are called as the lobar bronchus or the secondary bronchus. These secondary bronchus gets further divided, and these divisional branches get entered inside the various segments of the lung. These branches now called as the segmental bronchi or the tertiary bronchi. These tertiary bronchi gets even further divided and they become smaller, and these are called as the segmental bronchioles. These segmental bronchioles get further divided and get even more smaller to make the terminal bronchioles and the respiratory bronchioles. These respiratory bronchioles then make the alveolar duct. These alveolar ducts are connected to alveolar sacs, which accommodate almost 500 million tiny alveoli, which help in the process of gaseous exchange. Now let's try to understand the bronchial tree pattern on this model. This is a plastinate made from goat lung, so the anatomy may differ, but we can use this as an aid to understand the bronchial tree. So let's get started. Over here you can notice that this is the trachea. The trachea gets bifurcated into two principal bronchus, right? I hope you can see over here. it gets bifurcated into two principal bronchus. Now this principal bronchus further gets divided into lobar bronchus. Okay, it gets divided into lobar bronchus. Now this lobar bronchus, if you see over here, it gets divided into smaller segmental branches. Okay, these are called as segmental bronchi. Segmental bronchi gets further divided into the segmental bronchioles, right? Segmental bronchioles. These segmental bronchioles further get divided into smaller terminal and respiratory bronchioles. These respiratory bronchioles gets connected to the alveolar sac. Those are microscopic, so I can't show you over here. Okay, so I hope I am able to make you understand the entire bronchial tree. I would like to conclude my video over here. For any doubts, you can drop your queries in the comment section below. Thank you so much.